Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Centre, and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. On this special day, we say a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and to all those in other countries that celebrate on a different day to the United States. Because of this special occasion, the focus in everyone changes so that you are aware of the role of the closest person in your life. This is a perfect time to step forward a little further and welcome both yourself and your mother, be they here or past, to step into the world of magic and miracles, to experience the world of your Creator the way you do, to show the elegance of your being, even though you may not have in the past. So the beauty of this moment is that everyone has stopped everything else to focus on their mother. At this time, you will see that it is really easy to open your heart. But most of all, it's really easy to open your heart to yourself, to open the way to an easy life, a brilliant life, where you don't fill all the gaps, but just proceed. You don't look for things to do. You just proceed. Just the same way as the feeling towards your mother. It has nothing apart from beauty and love and celebration. So with a little bit of magic, you can add some sparkle. You can add all the things that add up to a perfect life. And one of those things is your presence and the effect you have for the future. In feeling the communication between each one of us, we allow one another to dance, to show that brilliance that turns out to be frivolity, excitement, and a movement that nobody has ever seen before. It may be a little smile, but it's unique and nobody's seen it before. And you present that to your mother on this special day. You also present it to yourself. And we can all feel it, let alone what we can see. Because as we move along, we're looking past all restrictions and seeing nothing ahead of us that can stop us moving forward. And you can thank one another for the interaction, not for the deeds, but the beautiful interaction of your fields. And your mother made a space for you in this world, an excellent space with everything in it, with all the perfection of every moment, now and into the future, and in the past. And each one of us moves forward, not in time, but in our essence, to the point where we're all together as family, promoted by those around us and those who brought us into the world. but most of all, held together by the special connections that your mother allowed to have with the world and with your world. So as we look at this special day, we can also look at the fact that we just performed a miracle. We changed our own direction in life. We changed our own thought patterns because it was a special day. And we can do that every day without any thought, but just with a slight leaning towards, it's a beautiful day. And the magic and miracles are starting to appear to be normal, which is most unusual when you look at past history. But it's not most unusual for us, for each one of us, because we're familiar with all of that. And we brought it into this beautiful world to add the glamour, the power, and the excitement of our own presence. So I don't have to say too much because everyone is in that right mode. Everyone is seeing something special far beyond what I can describe and far beyond what each person can describe. So the individual brilliance of each person is now available in the physical world, ushered in by your mother and held here in really good condition by your mother. And that's the essence of the female. As it weaves its most unusual path through what we consider difficulties in the times that we focus on. But at any moment, it's not a difficult time for the female. The difficult time is looking back or seeing that something is amiss. But now we have no reason to have anything amiss. We're here in all our glory. And our awareness is such that we can see the value of everybody's input. We can see the value of each person in a whole different way than what is laid out in our everyday life. And to see the value of your mother is something that does something special for you. But it's also something that is an example of exactly how you should see everyone else. And the word should is a bad word. It's exactly how you do see everyone else, if you allow it to be that way. And you can make a special day every day because it's your world. You create the rules, like a child playing a game. They change the rules whenever they feel like it. And it's never anything but random. So you can randomly have a special day where you're considering a special person, a special event, a future, a flow of income or excitement or travel or holidays or just a special day out or a special evening. as you open up to each one of those things, you will find it's a world in itself. And you created it just by a fleeting thought or a funny desire. And it doesn't need anything to bring it about. You don't have to put it on the calendar. You just have to feel that it's possible, and then it will start by itself. Everything you're supposed to know will just appear in front of you. If you're not supposed to know it, you'll just get the excitement without knowing anything. The mystery will continue, and the magic will continue to appear in each one of you and in those that you focus on. So we've gone a long way, but we haven't really. We've just dipped into our true place, where we're welcome, where everybody's welcome, and where everything is welcome. And where no action has to be taken because of some assessment. Because your field is part of the universe, and it automatically puts everything in the right place. And it creates a balance independent of what the disturbance is. And it doesn't create a balance by changing the disturbance. It creates a balance by offsetting it somewhere else in the universe. Just like if you put extra weight on the scale, you offset it by a weight on the other side till you get a balance. You don't necessarily discard what comes onto the scale. So everything, no matter what your assessment may be, will fall into the correct place. Even if it looks like it doesn't work, or you would have liked it to be a little different. No matter what happens in the world, if you hold the same essence of universal being that brought you into this world, everything will fall into place. And it may not be in your vision. In many times it's not. Quite often, things go wrong with your body and you don't know what it's about. You think, I need to heal this. But if an emergency happens, it goes away because you're focused on the emergency. And you might even find that after the emergency, the difficulty you thought you had in your body is not there anymore. So that's the mystery. But the magic is, it works. There will always be some disturbance, and you don't necessarily have to know what it is. It may be offsetting or balancing a feature in somebody else's world. Everything has its place. Welcome everything. And if it's not in your control, you can't worry about it. Because if you worry about it, you build something that doesn't exist. But that's not a rule. That's just one statement. Generally, all you have to do is live life in all its uniqueness, in all its randomness, with all its surprises and all its characteristics. It will never be the same twice. So setting a rule up doesn't really work. It's a good story and a good thing to talk about sometimes, but will never happen again. And it's never happened twice in your life, even though you think it has. Go back if you wish, and you'll never find two things match. Not even how you walk. There's a characteristic there, yes, and there's a rhythm, but it's never the same. And it has to change every day, in every minute. So where we're going from here is a random and beautiful path, which is called destiny. But destiny is not anything you can write down. Destiny is 1,000,001 things happening all at once. And you skillfully weaving your way through, just as you would if you were skiing down the slopes with a lot of trees around. Even if you follow somebody else's path, you won't track exactly the same as them, nor will you hold the same balance or even the same reactions. And you will turn and weave and find a beautiful path of exhilaration, even though you can also find a difficult path if you wish. And that is not wrong. That is what you decided to do right there and then. And it may be to balance something else or to offset something else. But in your world, there will be no strain. The only strain that will happen is if you all try to work and live the same. It doesn't work. Even if you dance with somebody, you do the same things, you're going to crash into one another. One has to do the opposite to the other. But even then, if you do the exact opposite, you can't turn. There's many, many movements that are totally opposite that fit best. Many plans that turn upside down and end up brilliant. But you don't see sometimes until after the event. Where we're going is to be able to see before the event and enjoy its approach. Like a little child waiting for Christmas. They get up and they can hardly stand still because they've got a picture of a thrilling time that they're walking into. And in fact, it is a thrilling time. From some perspective, it may look like you made that up. But have a look at the child's life. Have a look at the fact they can't even keep their hands still. And their excitement is so electric. And then you know it never goes away. It's still there with you. You can still do the same. You can still be excited. And if you make a noise, you're going to get into trouble, but you make a noise anyway. Because all of that is part of the excitement. All the movement is part of the excitement. And you might be told to stand still or sit still. But inside you, you're bouncing around. And that's fine. Don't stop it. Don't stop the thrill of life that you brought here as a little child. You don't have to be a little child. You already are. You don't have to act like one. You already do. You don't have to change anything. You're already perfect. You don't have to have a new outlook. You know, in a fraction of a second, you can have whatever outlook you want. And the slightest bit of excitement or a bit of mischief, and your whole being pops out and shines. Your eyes shine. And everybody loves you immediately. No thought, no special action, just life. And you'll find that as we move along, I speak less and less about any connections. I only talk about the interaction of the fields and how we can actually put our hand out and grab something solid. Even though you can't see it yet, it will appear. And then in the coming times, you'll be able to put your hand out and something solid that you grab will actually physically appear. That's where we're going. And that's why I keep going, because I've been there. I remember. I know how it works. But it's like explain the workings of a computer to a 2-year-old. They haven't got a clue what you're talking about unless you lead them up to where they open their own data. They open up what they know. They don't learn. They experience enough so that they're willing to open their book. And their book is the same size as the Creator's. So every piece of information is there. It's just not recognized yet. So as I lead you further forward, I'll introduce gradually some of the things that you think are impossible. But you do know that if you think about somebody, it doesn't surprise you that they ring straight away or they turn up at your door. And you wonder which came first, them turning up or you knowing about it. Time doesn't matter. It's all about what you create. And it's not the old word of create. It's not the combination of people. It's you. And your elegance in this amazing world that was provided for us to play in. And you can stand outside the world, or you can stand anywhere in the world. And physically interact with the fields, with the trees, with the birds. And the number of times that you stand in the woods or the bush and you can't hear any birds or see any animals, then all of a sudden they appear. And there are many, and there's lots of noise. But you didn't see one of them fly in or one animal come in. They just allowed you into their dimension because you weren't going to harm them. You did not fear. And little children see fairies. And you think it's crazy sometimes. It's real. They open the dimension. You will be able to do that with other beings, with events that appear in other people's fields. with the excitement of a person telling you, wow, I just saw this. You won't look around and say, well, I was here and I didn't see it, so it's not real. You'll say, great, tell me more. And the more you receive, the more you'll see. This is our time of displaying anything at all, as crazy it might seem. But it's our time of displaying that and walking forward, knowing that we're getting lighter and lighter, and that we can call on the energies of the earth to support us, to make life easier, to do mundane tasks, to make sure somebody comes into your life to make it easier, to make sure the love of your life turns up. You talk to the earth. You bring the energies to a height that will support you and your life and the world that you are bringing into reality, so that it can support the gifts that you are bringing. And it will. Just like your body will behave itself, and it won't worry you. It'll just give you enormous thrill. Just like a young child who sees something for the first time that they love. Their body responds, and they can crawl faster than you can turn around to get to what they want. So now we're ready to move really fast, to go further into the depths of the world of our Creator, to play with the magic and miracles, to actually break all the rules, create as much mischief as we can, and thrill ourselves beyond belief. It's not a matter of thrilling anybody else. They'll be thrilled because you are thrilled. Once again, just like the child, they are thrilled. And because of that, you are thrilled. It's not the other way around. So you don't have to do anything to thrill or support anyone. You just be you, and you watch what happens. Because there are many things you think are your responsibility, but all of a sudden it's taken out of your hands and it's done automatically, or it's done by somebody else. And the load comes off you, and you don't need to focus at achieving something that's already in the destiny of that person. So know that your presence is enough, but your exciting presence is what everybody's looking for. Those magic moments when you just burst into laughter and you think you've made a fool of yourself because you were too loud. It'll just make you laugh a lot longer when you look back and say, I was just like a child, totally out of control, but I didn't hurt anybody. I just broke some rules. One of them, I was too loud. It causes some embarrassment, but it also shakes up the world, changes direction, and makes room for the brilliance that we have ahead of us, so that everybody can be laughing inside. And so you're not imposing on anyone by being you, because it's your world, totally your world, and everything in it. ownership will just fall into the background. And you'll find you've got more in each moment than you have if you sit there and add up everything you own. You have access to everything. You have a beautiful time. You have magic meals, friends, excitement, and a long-term joy of knowing that you can't do anything wrong. You don't know how to. So in closing, I would like to welcome everyone into that perfect world where you have a perfect life, perfect health, and an extremely magic future. Thank you.